What's up, everybody? We are live for the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I am James, joined by my co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, it's been a pretty interesting week in the world of MMA, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we had Bellator come back, so we have Bellator tonight. We had Bellator last week. We have UFC tomorrow. We have Jake Paul versus Ben Askren tomorrow, which has been all out entertaining. Trash fight, I know, but I'm enjoying the oddity
I'm
that
so
is
close
this
to not
bout.
caring at all about it, though. That's
Oh no, I already don't care,
yeah.
but I'm highly entertained by it. Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the little Bellator MMA. I had our picks written down, but I don't have them on me.
Right.
So
All
that's my fault. That's my bad. It's a work in progress with me all the time. Trying to get better. So last week we had Ryan Bader versus Lyoto Machida in the light heavyweight Grand Prix opening round, and Ryan Bader, he came out and did the thing. He really utilized his wrestling, which I anticipated him to do,
Yeah.
and it started going for him. He did look a little. I feel like he looked a little bit older in the ring compared to the way he used to.
It was more boring than normal.
Touche.
That fight
Touche.
anyway.
But he did get the win.
Big was gonna happen, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised Machida didn't really go into his jiu-jitsu. It didn't really seem like he utilized that at all. I just thought that Bader his wrestling just outdid everything Machida had to offer. After he got comfortable, it took a little bit, and then once he got comfortable, he would get those takedowns.
Yeah, it took a little while for them to get moving. I felt like it was a lot of dancing around, and then it just kind of went on from there. But
that's why I'm glad it was a 5-round fight.
Yeah, I thought it would be a little more exciting, but he did his thing anyway, so that's okay. I don't know. I don't know about Machida. I kind of lost interest a while ago.
I feel like a lot of people did, and that's based off of his performances in the UFC.
Yeah.
When he started to waver there, I feel like people also were like, "Oh, okay, well,
they counted him out.
He's not as successful. We can be done
you
with
get older.
him."
You get slower, older.
Very true.
Not that he's not good. Not that he's not a challenge for people, but it's just not what it used to be. Different days, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then moving down the card, we had Liz Carmouche versus Vanessa Porto. And Liz Carmouche got the decision. I remember picking her just because that's female Uriah Faber. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I picked Vanessa just because you picked Carmouche.
She got the win on that. Another decision. This card was full of decisions.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and continue down. We had Adam Borix versus Jeremy Kennedy. I don't remember who I picked.
I picked Kennedy. I remember that.
I may have picked Borix on that.
Yeah, that's right.
And Borix got the decision win. Another decision. Third decision that we've seen on this card so far, for the main card at least.
Yeah.
It just dragged on. Now, the only submission on the main card, thank goodness.
I know,
Kat Zingano over Olivia Parker.
Yeah.
Kat Zingano, I felt like just outmatched her. Like the wealth of experience.
It was a mismatch anyway.
It was a huge mismatch based off of experience. Yes.
Yeah. So she did what she was supposed to do. So
I mean, Parker, though, the way they talked about Parker, I thought it was really interesting that she had faced a certain amount of adversity based off of her weight. I didn't know she was so heavy set. Like, good for her for losing all that weight and then competing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that weight loss. Do you remember the amount of pounds that she lost? It was well over 100.
A lot.
Yeah, like was it almost 200? I thought
it was a really high number.
Say like 190 or something like that, and I almost didn't believe that. Maybe I misheard, but it was something crazy like that. And I'm surprised someone that's that heavy loses the weight but can move like a fighter is very interesting, because just knowing the amount of weight that her joints and her knees, ankles have been on for so long, and then losing that weight and having them still be pretty strong to be agile like that, to be a mixed martial artist, is crazy to me. And she's so lucky. I almost wish she would have gotten rid of that weight a hell of a long time ago, because she could have been something really great by now, instead of just getting on it now.
Very much so. But it was
she
still.
Hey, she actually did okay for a while too, actually, in that fight.
But the thing is you're going against Kat Zingano, and you have such a huge difference in the style of the way of experience. And man, they threw her to the wolves on that fight. Like,
Bellator does that.
You beat obesity, but you ain't beating Kat Zingano. Tell you that.
Yep.
So
yeah.
If Kat
would have lost that, I would have been disappointed. So she did what she was supposed to do.
I think we would have been really surprised by that if she would have lost that match.
Yeah.
And then continuing on, we had Yamuchi versus Dan Moret.
Yeah.
I think you chose Moret, or did I choose Moret? I don't know.
I think I chose Moret on that one.
Yeah, you got it. You beat me. I chose Yamachi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dude had like a great go round on the ground, but he just couldn't put it together to finish off Moret.
Yeah, Moret was a lot tougher than I thought he was. I didn't even know who Moret was, anyways. But he was tough.
That's because it was his Bellator debut.
Oh, that's right. Okay, makes sense.
So he went out there and he got the W decision. It was a really long, because it was a decision. It did feel like a long match overall.
I know the rounds went by kind of slow there, but he did good.
Yes, he did. Got that W. And then, of course, Bellator is tonight, as it always is. And we're going to move on to that card. We have Vadim Nimkoff versus Phil Davis. They've fought before, and Nimkoff got the win.
Of course,
Nimkoff is also the light heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say he either beat Davis or Bader. I'm not quite sure.
Bader.
He beat Bader for the light heavyweight championship. So this is the guy to beat right now. He's pretty good rocking in here. This is also another light heavyweight Grand Prix opening round. Excuse me. What do you think? I mean, Davis has already suffered a loss to this guy. Do you think he'll be able to bounce back?
I don't know. I love Phil Davis though. I don't know how that last fight went. I didn't see that. Didn't watch it. Didn't even know what happened. But man, I always root for Phil Davis when he fights. But this is gonna be a tough one because Nimkoff is really good. I want him to win. I don't know. I have my doubts.
You know what? I want to say Davis as well, just because I am a Davis fan too.
I've been a Davis fan when he was in UFC, and I was kind of surprised when he left because he wasn't bad, But maybe it was a contract thing. Let him go, Bellator. But I'm a really big fan of his. I always love to see him win, but I don't think he's going to win this one.
So who are you choosing?
Nimkoff.
Nimkoff. You know what? I'm actually going to do the same. With a guy like that who's been producing good quality wins.
Yeah.
I think he'll continue and then move on in the light heavyweight Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's definitely his time right now.
All right, now we're going to move to another light heavyweight Grand Prix opening round fight. Corey Anderson versus... Okay, I wrote this down.
Waiting for you to pronounce that one.
Yakshimarato. I'm only going to pronounce his last name because that's the one I heard. I didn't hear his first name. So we're just going to go with that for now.
Yeah, I know his first name. Anyway, I love Corey Anderson, though.
Same here.
I like him. I want him to win.
I completely agree. 14-5 versus 18-5-1. I mean, there's a few more victories on the side of Yaksha Murado. I always have to read that. Like I don't have it committed to memory, so I have to like look down and read. I too will also take Corey Anderson in this bout to see him move on.
Yeah, me
All
too.
Right. Now I'm writing down the picks, and hopefully I don't misplace them. Now a female fight. I'm gonna have to. I think I will do that. We have a female flyweight fight. Veta Ortega, not Ortega, Artega versus Desiree Yanez. Would you happen to know anything about either of these ladies?
No, I don't. Nope, I do
not. Neither do I. 5-4 and 5-2.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, based off experience, which isn't a whole lot of difference between the two, I guess Veta. That's gonna be a total like I don't know. I'm gonna go for her.
All right, you pick Veta, and I will be the foil to you, and I will pick Yanez in that bout.
Okay.
Just because she seems to be the up and comer, she does have a better win-loss ratio compared to Veta, who is 5-4. So I will take the route and go Desiree Yanez.
Okay.
Now, as we continue, my man, Paul Daly.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Versus Shabah Hamasi. I hope that's how you pronounce that. If not, please, people, let me know. I have a tendency to butcher names. Pretty good at it. Paul Daly, though.
Yeah.
If you're a longtime fan of MMA, you know who Paul Daly is. You know he fought in the UFC. You know he had quite the infamous fight against Josh Koscheck that got him thrown out of the UFC, essentially. But he's been a long time fighter with Bellator. Gosh, for I don't know. I can't even think about how many years now.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, he's still fighting 42-17-2.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So he has, like almost triple the experience in cage compared to Sabah.
Yeah.
So I am a Daly fan. I am picking Paul Daly.
Yeah, you have to. That's a given. Yep.
All right. Is that who your pick is as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the female fight is the only fight we are split on, but we have chosen the same for the rest of the card. And that is it for the main card for Bellator. They're already in the prelims right now. I haven't really heard anything compared to like last week where there's that 29-second knockout, but they are going on right now. I'm not sure where. I know the main card is on Showtime, which I've really been enjoying. Mauro Ranallo,
I like that too.
Mauro Ranallo kills it as a commentator.
It makes
for
having
pro wrestling or MMA. Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I completely agree with that. So we're going to just continue on like we do. And UFC last weekend.
Yes.
So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up.
Okay.
It was the Battle of the Ugly Tattoos.
Yeah.
Daniel Rodriguez won by decision.
What do you think of that fight? Do you remember it?
I saw some of the highlights. I thought...
Oh, you didn't watch that one. Okay.
Harry just didn't look very... He didn't look like he was there. Whereas Rodriguez wasn't necessarily picking him apart, but Rodriguez was able to land
picking him apart. He was picking him apart, but got exhausted.
Yeah, that's okay. He didn't destroy him.
He kind of did really
he was
slowly.
Doing enough.
He kind of destroyed him really slowly. I was so disappointed because he was picking him apart really well. He was just so slow and tired. I'm like, man, if he just gets a burst of energy, he could have finished him, I think. But he would have to have thrown about maybe 4 more punches in his combos, and he could have had him, I think. But man, he was just so slow and probably exhausted. But man, he had him. He had his range down really well.
Were you disappointed in Perry? Because usually this guy's a pretty exciting and pretty entertaining fighter.
Yeah, but if you think about everything that guy is going through, I don't think he even has a team coach. I don't know. He's been kind of up and down with that, and he seems to not really have any structure or support behind him that he needs. So I'm not surprised.
All right. Wow. Significant strikes by position, 129 compared to 60. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Daniel Rodriguez, who apparently was born in 1986 based on the giant tattoo on his chest.
Yeah.
Got the unanimous decision victory over Mike
Man,
Perry.
but Mike Perry's poor nose, though. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. He got wrecked.
It went back to the way it was in the other fight where he almost fell off his face.
Moving on, we have the women's strawweight bout. We had Nina Nunes versus Mackenzie Dern. And I want to say we both picked Dern.
Well, I know I did. That's for sure.
I may have. I probably did.
Yeah, I think you did too. Yeah.
But Mackenzie Dern went in there and she got the submission victory in the first round. At the very end of the round, just 12 seconds left before the round was over, and she happened to get that victory.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed for Nina because she's been out for so long and comes back to that, which wasn't not an easy fight to come back to. Mackenzie Dern did her thing.
Very true, but she's also ranked 5th. So you have to anticipate you're going to have some type of tough matchup. You're not going to be like, this isn't Bellator. You're not going to be thrown some person who's like, hi, I'm new to the game. I get to fight you. Right? So you fight somebody who's with that killer instinct that's looking to advance. And that just happened to be Mackenzie Dern.
I don't even know why Nina's ranked 5th. She's, I don't know. We'll see what happens after. I don't know. I think she's just been out for too long, has way too much going on. I hope she comes back stronger in her next fight and see what she can do before she falls off there.
Very much so. You hate to see when a fighter falls off. You don't want to see a fighter do very poor, but when a fighter starts to fall off, it sucks. You always want them to be successful, but somebody has to lose.
I know, but it is what you make it. I don't think she's been training that hard. I don't think she had that motivation that you would have before you get your whole life started and that's all you care about. Like, she has family and all that now. So I think she's enjoying that rather than putting her whole heart into
well, you can't say that because the other Nunes, Amanda Nunes, who is the top dog, the champ, has a family now too, and she's still a killer. So
she didn't have the baby though, so
okay, touche. I know that I'm speaking as a man and who can't have children, but I'm just saying that's all, But good point. Good point. Yeah, no, good point.
No, I think she's distracted. Hopefully she comes back though. I'd like to see that.
She should just focus all of her anger that she has towards her kids. Like when they're so bad, I just want to beat and then just take that in the cage and just destroy.
That's her motivation now.
I feel like that would be beneficial for her. That would help. And then we had what got fight of the night honors with Sam Alvey versus Julian Marquez. I took Alvey because I like smiling Sam Alvey. I like him.
I did too. I think I did too.
Round 2, submission. The Cuban Missile Crisis. Julian Marquez got the win.
Yeah, I was surprised. I don't know, maybe not totally surprised, but I thought Sam Alvey was going to get it.
I thought so too. He seemed to have a little bit of steam behind him, and
he just couldn't. Yeah.
Got a loss by submission, so that was that for him.
Yeah.
And we had Arnold Allen. This one surprised me.
Yeah.
Arnold Allen got the win over Sadiq Youssef.
Yeah, I picked Youssef.
I want to say I did the same. I didn't pick. I don't think I picked Arnold Allen.
I don't remember, but I know I picked Youssef because I liked him.
Yeah, I thought because Allen being from England wouldn't perform very well. Boy, I ate my words.
Yeah.
I shut the hell up. So he got the unanimous decision win. over Sadiq Youssef.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. Quite a few decisions on here, but we did have some submissions too.
Yeah.
more so than the Bellator card, thank goodness. And then in the main event, we had Marvin Vittori versus Kevin Holland.
What do you think of that?
Kevin Holland used his kicks very well, but Marvin just was like, no, I'm going to win this fight. You're going to do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And he went in there.
I mean, Kevin Holland, I think he's having a really rough time now with those two back-to-back losses, and they're all due to getting wrestled to death pretty much the whole fight.
Yeah, definitely. He was just, he was doing okay on his feet, but then once that was done,
yeah, that's it. But
beyond that, he just wasn't performing like he usually would, or excuse me, not usually would, like he should.
Yeah, I kind of thought that it could go that way, like his last one. I thought it could go that way, and it did.
Marvin scored 11 takedowns.
Yes, it was like takedown after takedown after takedown.
That is insane. I don't even know of wrestlers that are main wrestlers, like an example, like a Matt Hughes when he competed, that would even hit that many takedowns.
I think he broke some record, or he tied someone for the amount of takedowns in that fight. I think for that weight class, I think I saw that. But yeah, it was. I hate to see that happen to Kevin Holland. I was kind of on his hype train like everybody else, but he needs to work on his ground game.
Definitely. A random question: what do you think of the apparel now since they've switched from Reebok to Venom?
Yeah, I noticed that. I totally forgot. I'm like, oh, their shorts are different. Oh, they got that Venom deal going now.
Yeah, I think it looks more badass.
Yeah, no, they're good. They look good. I heard that because all the fighters are talking about how they got so screwed when Reebok came in. They took away their sponsors, and
they
got a lot less money.
It hurt them a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So Venom, was saying, oh, we're gonna, step in, and it's gonna be better for the fighters and all that. I heard like they're barely getting that. They're not getting a whole lot more money.
They did release a pay scale, and it didn't look to be too much higher than the Reebok deal.
$500, $1,000. I guess it depends how high ranked you are and how important you are to UFC. But it's like, oh, okay, well, they're not actually being helped out that much. Okay, whatever.
Now, I imagine this has hurt them, but since the sponsorships have changed when the Reebok deal was instituted, fighters in Bellator still have sponsorships. So were they able to grab at certain sponsorships, or is there not enough eyes on Bellator compared to the UFC that that went away, a lot of sponsors were like, well, then never mind. If it's not UFC, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I would assume so. And I don't, it depends on their contracts. There's always stuff in the contracts where you don't realize what you're getting into until you get into it. And you're like, oh, shit, we can't really do what we thought we could do for these guys. And it is what it is. They're getting a little bit more money, so they'll take it.
I do miss seeing Condom Depot on the back of trunks.
That was a big one.
Fighters. Oh my
God. Was a big one.
Or a golden palace on people's backs.
I know.
All right. There is a UFC, of course, this weekend. So let's go ahead and go check that out.
Yeah.
We have, starting off on the main card, Luis Pena versus Alexander Munoz. Pena has a better record with a little more experience at 8-3 compared to Munoz, who's 6-1. Both fighters are coming off losses. Yeah. Wow, Pena's 6'3".
Yes.
Wow.
Do you know who he is? Are you familiar with him?
Not offhand. I do like the hair, though.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, his nickname. Did you read it?
Violent Buffa. Okay. I think I've just found who I'm going to choose, and it is purely based off of his name. Okay.
Anyway, this guy came from The Ultimate Fighter. I remember I watched that season. He was injured for most of that show, so it was unfortunate. But he came back, was still in UFC, and did pretty well until I'm not. I know he's coming off of a loss. I don't know. I think he may have lost the one before that too. I think I could be wrong, but not bad. I do kind of like him, and I expect him to get this one. I don't know who Alexander Munoz is.
I think he's making his debut in the UFC. They do have his stats up on how he's won, but yet he doesn't have an average fight time, nor does he have any significant. Okay.
Makes sense. So this is a good fight for Pena, though. I think he'll get this one. I expect him to get this one. He should be really hungry to win, based on his start so far. So
I completely agree. But let's be real. Like, Violent Bob Ross is a great nickname. Alexander Munoz has some of the most beautiful hair I've ever seen in a photo.
Oh, here we go.
Like, that dude, super, like, he's a model right there.
Okay.
That's one handsome man. Wow.
We know what happens to models in UFC.
That's true. They usually get people up. But
who's it? Luke
I'm going to take. Oh yeah, it's starched. That's what happens. Yeah. I will take Luis Pena because Violent Bob Ross will paint happy trees with blood. So I am taking Violent Bob Ross.
Yeah, me too.
That's who you got. All right.
Oh yeah.
Make a note of that.
He better win this one.
If he got knocked out, I wouldn't be mad because, you know, a good highlight's a good highlight. But I am taking Luis to win, and hopefully he does. Now we have Abdul. Oh, man. I had it earlier, and I lost it. Abdul Rasik Hassan versus Jacob Malcone.
Yeah. I don't know much about these guys. They're both coming off of losses, though. I don't know. I haven't heard anything on Jacob, but I have heard some commentary about Abdul. I think that he's the pick in this one. I'll go with him.
Well, both of these fighters, according to their win by stats, like to just stand up and strike.
Yeah.
Jacob does have 50% wins by decision, so he can go the distance. But Abdul, no, 100%. I do like the experience factor for Abdul, so that's where I will give him my pick is based off of his experience.
Yeah, I have to go with him too. Yep.
All right.
We have a lot of the same picks this time.
Yeah, that we do. We might change though as we go up this card.
Yeah, maybe.
Because now we have Andre Arlovsky. I feel like these dudes, like some of them are just competing like so much more often. It's really weird. Like, how many fighters are still on the UFC roster that you have some of these guys competing? Like Kevin Holland, prime example. So he just fought, 2-3 weeks ago, and was still well enough to compete over the weekend, the past weekend.
He was subbing for.
True, but he just fought. You mean to tell me you had nobody else ready to rock?
Maybe not. I don't think so. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, we have Andre Arlovsky.
I think that one he still felt fresh. Like he was still, because he came off of fight camp, even though he lost the fight, he was still, kind of ready to go. So I think maybe that's why he took it. Or maybe the COVID thing. Maybe he didn't want to go back and said, hey, I can stay for another fight. Let's do this,
Very true. And it got him another fight. So very beneficial to him, even though he lost. So it was beneficial, but not in the end result.
Right. Yeah.
We have Andre Arlovsky competing again, who is going to be fighting for the 53rd time.
God.
Wow. Jesus, versus Chase Sherman, the Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a moniker. That's a moniker I haven't heard in quite some time because I believe there was another fighter years ago. I want to say he since passed. Loden Kincaid. He was on, I want to say, the first season of The Ultimate Fighter or one of the first few seasons of it.
Really?
He was also referred to as the Vanilla Gorilla.
I actually know a couple fighters that go by that name. Whatever.
Well, he's the original that I know of.
Yep. Well, he'll be the official because he's in UFC, so we'll call him the original.
That's true. And Loden Kincaid has since passed, like I said. So that moniker can be taken by whoever.
Yep.
But Chase Sherman, the Vanilla Gorilla, 15-6. Wow. I'm still bugging out. I'm sure I bugged out on this last time, but over 50 fights for Andre Alofsky, and he's still in the UFC.
Yeah. How old is he? Do you know? Does it say? It doesn't.
They don't have a very old. That's not a selection on here. But when you look at it, though, Chase Sherman likes to bang. 93% is how many wins he's had by knockout and TKO, compared to 7% for his decisions. And then
I don't know. I've seen Arlovsky get finished, so I don't know.
Well, he got subbed by Aspinall, and that was a really strong fight. That was his last fight.
Yes.
And he actually thought he was going to be fired. He was going to be let go after that. No. So he's fighting Chase Sherman. Maybe
this is it. Maybe this is the one.
Who do you pick?
Geez. I want Arlovsky to win, and I'll go with that because I want him to win.
All right, you got Arlovsky. You know what?
I'm
taking Sherman.
Okay.
I'm going to take Sherman because
I hate to see Arlovsky lose.
Yeah, so do I. But when he fought Aspinall, oh my gosh! Like I picked Arlovsky, but Aspinall looked amazing. Yeah, he looked great.
I remember
that seed of doubt, though, is what is leading me to take the Vanilla Gorilla, Chase Sherman.
Could be right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's continue on this card. All right, Jeremy Stephens versus Dracar Close. I hope that's how you pronounce Close. Or it's Close.
It's close.
But Dracar, I'm like, oh, he must be named after the cologne. I love that stuff when I was a teenager. Did it help my game with the ladies? No, not at all.
No.
But hey, I smelled good. At the weigh-ins, the weigh-ins or the face-off, they had a little scuffle there. I'm curious as what led to that.
I know. I was like, is there any meaning behind that, or did he just do that out of the blue to make it interesting?
Probably to make it interesting. Jeremy Stephens is also a longtime fighter in the UFC.
Yes.
I think a lot of fighters that, even though he's in the top 10 at number 10, a lot of fighters are looking at him as a stepping stone. A lot of young fighters are looking at him as a stepping stone just to get that name recognition over somebody to catapult them high. Oh, any fighter's dangerous.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stephens, of course, does have the better average because he's been competing so long in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be pretty similar in certain instances.
Yeah.
It's just a factor of experience and age. So who are you going to take? You going to take Jeremy Stephens, who's ranked number 10?
I think so. I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get a TKO. I'm going to say that. I think he will.
Who you got?
Jeremy Stephens with a TKO or knockout.
You take Stephens?
Yeah.
Well, if he continues to fuel that fire going into the cage,
that's what he
kick
needs.
Some ass.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will take Close. I'll go with the young up and comer.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going up this card. Now we're on to the main event of the evening for this card. Robert Whitaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. You have number 1 versus number 8. I'm kind of surprised that Whitaker would take a fight with somebody who's so much lower in the way of ranking. And he's number 1.
This fight was supposed to happen a long time ago, and they were set to fight. I don't know if you remember, but Robert Whitaker ended up having emergency surgery the day of that fight.
I recall an injury. I don't recall what it was pertaining to, but I do recall an injury that prevented that.
He had a hole in his stomach or something like that, where if they were saying, because he was complaining of stomach pains, he had to go in for emergency surgery. Like he would have died if he didn't go into surgery. Because I believe he would have became septic or something. But if he would have fought and got punched in the stomach, he would have died. That they said. So it wasn't
similar to the Brock Lesnar situation where they had to take out some of his intestine, was it? Or
I don't know how the surgery went. that could be what they did. What they had to obviously they had to repair his stomach somehow, but they were saying if he took that fight, he could have died if he got
That would have been a wrap.
It would have been he would be dead. It would have been insane because I think he would have gone septic or something like that. But that fight was supposed to happen a long time ago, so I'm really happy that this is happening now, regardless of the rankings. I do feel like Gastelum will get this one.
Oh, you picked Gastelum.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna take Whitaker because he's number one, and his nickname is the Reaper, and there's a reason why you're number one. You're a bad dude. You made your way there.
Yeah. I just keep remembering that fight with Gastelum and Izzy, though. It was so crazy.
I mean, I'm not saying that Gastelum isn't exciting, but I don't think he has it to take Whitaker in this fight.
I'm going to say he does.
All right. Wow. The first two fights on the card, we were in agreement. And then the rest of the card, no, we went against each other. Yeah. I look forward to seeing how these cards turn out and how our picks play out.
Yeah.
Now, moving to future UFC events.
Oh, yeah. We have some good ones.
We have Amanda Nunes moves back to bantamweight to defend her title against Juliana Pena at UFC 265. Nunes just competed on the last big pay-per-view and defended her belt against Megan Anderson. Yes, thank you.
It was a little while. It was longer than that, I think.
Kicked her ass.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say it was maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
And so she's already got a fight set for August, where she'll be defending her other title.
Yeah. But I don't know what Juliana Pena has for her, though.
I don't feel like anybody really has anything to offer in the way of competition right now. No. I mean, it's the UFC, though, so they'll put the hype machine behind it, and they'll find something, and I will buy fully into it. I'll be like, yeah, I believe it. She's gonna kick her ass.
No,
she's gonna beat Amanda, and then I'm gonna just eat my words and be completely wrong.
Well, I kind of thought that about Megan Anderson because I always wanted to see that fight. Because
here.
Megan Anderson is good. She's had a little hiccups with some of her fights. I just ended weird. She didn't really get to display what she can do. But man, she got taken out quick by Amanda. So you can't deny her. I have to pick her because every time I don't, I get proved wrong.
You regret it.
Stupid. So I have to go with Amanda
I completely agree.
Sure.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I feel like Amanda Nunes on a bad day could still take everyone in that division, both divisions, 145 and 135.
I'm pretty sure she could take most of the men's divisions too. Let's just be honest about that.
Yes.
We have a quick shout out. Tom Owens said, "Hello, my friends. Hey, Tom. I hope all is well with you. We saw that you had a Hammer Fist podcast with Dewey Cooper. Didn't get a chance to watch that yet, but Dewey Cooper is the man. Trains with Francis Ngannou, I believe, is one of his trainers. Yeah, so
I don't know much about him, but I've heard his name before.
Yeah, he's been around the game for quite some time. Long time MMA and boxing guy. All right. Now, the most exciting fight of this weekend. Are you ready?
Okay.
Of course. Ben Askren versus Jake Paul. Now, I don't know if you happen to have caught any of the stuff that's gone on today.
I haven't.
See, you can't see it right here in the video. But right here, there's a giant robot that's supposed to look like Jake Paul.
Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, you scoffed. I'm like, that's...
Like, what the hell? What a circus. What's going on here?
Exactly. Like I told you, freak show fight.
We're the elephant. It's such a freaking circus.
Oh, man. They retired him. No more Ringling Brothers. It's all done. They don't do that anymore.
Bring them back.
But that was a trip. And then you had them, facing off. Look at that height difference.
Yeah.
And Askren's got a little paunch on him.
Oh boy, man. What do you think is gonna happen?
Okay. I'm not a fan of Jake Paul, but I get what he's doing. He's playing the villain.
Of
Because
course.
with him playing the jerk, it's how it works. It's almost a pro wrestling tactic. You want to see him
exactly what
get
it
knocked
is.
out. You want to see him lose. Well,
Yeah,
it's the same situation. Rogan mentioned it when you had Pretty Boy Floyd. Nobody wanted to see him fight. But when he became Money Mayweather,
Right.
everybody hated him and they wanted to see him lose. And he didn't. He remained, he's still undefeated to this day. One of the greatest boxers of all time. This situation.
This is so not the same situation, though. That's why I think I'm less interested in
You're
it.
right. You're right. But Jake Paul is still just starting off in boxing. And he doesn't seem to take on any real contenders. This is only maybe his second or third.
Well, he's not he's not like a lifelong boxer. He's kind of just doing this now.
True, but you can't tell me he didn't take it seriously when he fought Nate Robinson and knocked Nate Robinson senseless.
He wasn't a boxer either, right?
True, but you could tell that Jake Paul did take it seriously enough.
Yeah.
That he knew he was going to be competing in a boxing match, and he did take that seriously. It's just that the guy he fought didn't. Hopefully, this will be different.
We're not boxers.
I understand that, but if you let's use it as an example. If you were going to participate in a jiu-jitsu match, even though you don't really do jiu-jitsu at all,
okay.
But if you were going to do that, wouldn't you train for it? Wouldn't you take it seriously?
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. Nate Robinson didn't seem to take it seriously from what people had seen. And Jake Paul is. So that's the difference. Hopefully Ben Askren has taken it seriously and will go out there and lay hands because I want to see Ben Askren get the W.
I do too. I just, man, I don't know if Askren's the one to do it.
No, you're right. That's why, like, when you had Nate Robinson, who of course is not a boxer, they had him fight, and it was awful. But the thing is how long has Jake Paul been doing this? Because I'm not quite sure about that.
I don't know, a while, not that long, but enough to be
what happens if you put him in there with an up and comer that boxes?
Well, I don't think do
you think the boxer's gonna beat the brakes off of him?
Yeah.
I think so too, but at what level boxer do you put in there with him? Like, you're not gonna put some amateur fighter.
Young kid that just turned pro.
What, like, that just turned pro. When you said kid, I've seen kids like 6 and 7 boxing. I'm like, you know what? Actually, Jake Paul probably get knocked out by one of those kids.
I'm talking like 19, 18 years old.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because boxers are young. They are kids. They are
Some of them literally come out of the womb ready to go.
I've gotten beat up by so many 16-year-olds in boxing. It's not even funny.
I bet. Man, that's one thing when I've seen MMA fighters compete against boxers in just a boxing match. I saw, this was years ago now. It was just a sparring session. It was Jose Ramirez against Isaac De Jesus. Isaac De Jesus trained here for a long time. Phenomenal Muay Thai striker. And they just did a sparring session of boxing. The speed that Ramirez had was nuts.
Ramirez is a pure boxer.
I was shocked. That's very true. And so the footwork. The footwork is what killed it in that sparring session. Great sparring session to watch, though, to be there live for. But the movement that Ramirez showed, oh man, I can see why he's so good. Now, I don't think Askren hasn't trained enough to have that type of footwork. That's why I do worry that Jake Paul, who has been training in boxing for quite some time, does have that. But we shall see, and that's why I love freak show fights.
So I almost feel like this Jake Paul thing is a cheap shot for Jake Paul because Askren's not a striker, and Jake Paul has been trained. Of course, he would take him to fight him because he thinks he's going to win easily, and he might. Even though Ben Askren has a lot of fighting experience, it's just not the same as
not the same at all.
Oh man, I am interested in it, but I'm so close to not being interested in it either.
I'm not interested in. Let's just be honest. I'm not interested enough into buying it. I'm only interested in seeing the highlights and hearing about it.
Either. I don't know. I'd be fine watching the highlights, I guess. No, I don't know. I'll probably be bored and I'll want to watch it. So I can't say that. But
now, let's be real. Like when you saw the workout, did you think the couples yoga?
It's cute.
I was like, oh, I've never seen a boxer do couples yoga. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, he's not a boxer anyway. Anyways, it was cute. I think that was definitely on purpose.
I mean, I understand stretching out, and I've always felt, as somebody who's watched MMA, that fighters should do yoga.
Yeah, because of the really stretching. Oh my God. Speaking of stretching, I got like some back issues, and I talked to someone in my gym who does do yoga. He gave me some really good advice, and I think it's a really good thing to do in your spare time to do yoga. I think it would really help everyone in training for fighting.
Well, I completely agree. I always thought it would help with the elasticity of a person.
Yeah, or getting old, you know?
Yeah, very true. Very true. I completely agree with that. Not like this, though. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like, I don't know what's going on
seriously?
There, I guess.
Dude, go hit some pads or something. Go do some boxing.
I think he purposely did not want to do that because this whole thing's kind of up in the air, and you want to keep it up in the air, like do some bizarre circus stuff like that, you know? I wouldn't expect anything different than that, actually. I'm not surprised at that.
Well, it is the freak show fight that, you know, I talk about enjoying all the time.
Yeah, I wish, I don't know, a non-boxer fighting a non-boxer in a boxing match. All right.
Yeah. It's like we talked about, it's a freak show fight.
I understand old retired boxers coming back for a circus fight. Like, I think there's a couple coming up, but like I get that because those guys did box. So
now, what would you think about? Here's an example: Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Oof.
Mike Tyson would murder him.
Yeah.
I mean, but if we're just saying a fighter that's retired, he hasn't fought like his last fight. Yeah. Excuse me. He fought on that card with Nate Robinson.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that was the fight card. I forgot about that. Yeah. It was the fight
so I'm pretty sure that Mike Tyson, seeing him training scares the shit out of me. So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, he still moves like a boxer. He still moves correctly with his footwork, you know.
And that's funny because he's in his 50s now. Seeing Mike Tyson when he was competing in the Olympics, when he was 18, 19, his speed. Whoa, man. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was scary.
So watching him now, you can tell that he had that kind of speed. Like you could tell because you can see him still want to move that way. He's still got his balance and his footwork. It's just slower now, but you could tell how he knows how to move even though he's this old. But you could definitely, there's a difference. You could tell.
Very much so. All right. And then, so a while back, we talked about a fighter who had an injury in the cage. He lost his finger. It was completely severed.
Yeah.
Well, so the decision was made that it was turned from a loss to a no decision. So that fighter has one less loss on his record. So you know what? Good for him. That's true. I want to say they were
right.
Yes, I want to say they were able to reattach it.
So he got his finger back and his fight back.
Yeah. Oh, see, there he is. Look, that was the champ.
Oh, there you go.
Man, I think about that and my finger hurts.
Ooh. Yeah, I get it.
But he got a no decision, so good for him. I mean, I don't know if that's really going to help his fight career. But
I wonder what's next for that guy.
Knows? Yeah. What's next is taking time off for an injury, hopefully.
Well, yeah. I just wonder if he's still going to go at it. What's going to happen with that hand?
That's a really interesting question.
Be able to feel anything in that part of his hand anymore either for a long time. So I don't know.
Probably lots of physical therapy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right. And then one other thing we want to talk about in the world of professional MMA is Clarissa Shields making her MMA debut. I heard about her from you, actually, when you told me to check her out on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, it was
really interesting.
Yeah.
And she's very knowledgeable, especially about promotion. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, boxing, you got to know your stuff when you're that good. And you know how Mike Tyson got taken advantage of and stuff. Like, boxers are always on the lookout for that. She's great. She's got everything, you know. I think she's like 26 years old. She's so young.
She's very young.
It's like, man, she dominated everything. I think she's bored, and now she's going to do MMA because it's so much of a challenge, which is great. I mean, what else is she going to do in boxing that she hasn't done already?
Sure, she's a multi-time champion, as you can see even in this photo.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Have you seen? What was it? We were talking about the video of her training. What do you think about that? Tell me your thoughts.
I don't know. I don't fight MMA. I stand up. So, but watching that, I don't know if that was supposed to be a video where she wanted everyone to see what she's got, but she looked really stiff to me. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that, but I feel like her hips are just not moving like a mixed martial artist. Her hips are tight because of boxing. I don't know, that video, she looked really stiff. She looked really stiff on avoiding a takedown and then going for it for herself. I feel like she was using her back rather than her legs and hips, you know, if that makes sense.
What I saw in that video is I feel like she lacked the fluidity of smoothness.
Yeah.
When a wrestler gets a takedown, depending on the wrestler, they're very smooth and they just go right through. And I know she's still training and brand new to it, but she lacked that fluidity.
To me, she looked stiff. Like, she wanted to just, like, her legs weren't positioned correctly. She was just kind of, I felt like maybe she went to go pick someone up rather than take them down, if that makes sense. Gotcha. Yeah. I hope that wasn't all she's going to perform.
Was, what did I say it was? Was it June 10th? June 10th. She'll be competing against Brittany Elkin.
In, that's PFL, right?
Correct. Yes, in the PFL.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I know it's a little ways away, but that should be interesting. I hope she does well. It'd be so cool to see a boxer come over to MMA and do really well, especially a woman. And she's young. She's got so much time to get better if this is what she really wants to do instead of boxing.
And she trains at Jackson Winklejohn, so she's got one hell of a team behind her.
Yeah, you definitely should. That's definitely a place you'd want to go. I think they could help her out. Also, she's got some good training partners there too. Similar to Holly Holm. She came from boxing, then kickboxing, then MMA. So I think I've seen them train together and stuff. So I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, like I said, I hope she does really well. That would be really interesting. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Well, after hearing her on the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm a fan too. I thought she knew her stuff. I thought she was very knowledgeable about stuff,
and she's also promotion,
really about how her career is. I thought it was great.
She's really cocky, but I really like it. It's cool because she can back it up, you know. So
very true. That's why I am curious. I'm very curious to see how that goes, how it correlates to fighting in the cage. So that will be very interesting to see.
I don't know. She could lose and get totally thrown off and not know how to come back from that, because I don't think she's ever faced that really. But
she's faced certain adversity in her life, but will facing adversity in the cage, would that translate into how does she deal with that type of adversity as compared to adversity in life?
I think she'll be fine. She's young. She'll be fine anyways, but I'd love to see her win. That would be so awesome.
That is definitely a fight that we here look forward to.
Yeah.
And one of the last things that we're going to talk about is the Underground Fight Series is back. We had our one event already in February. We're talking about doing another one, and here it is. It's going to be Sunday, June 6th. It's going to take place at Halo Jiu-Jitsu. If you guys want to sign up or you want to find out any information about it, You can go to undergroundfightseries.com to learn more. You can contact me. You can contact any of us in the MMA Fight Pass crew, and we will try to get you whatever information you need so you can compete or even just watch, because we will stream it live. We did that for the first event. The first half of it didn't turn out so well, but once we figured out the technical bugs, it looked great. So we really look forward to doing this again. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, contact us. Let us know. We will try to help you out as best we can and to get you situated to compete or to even watch the live stream as it happens that Sunday. So, all right, Kaelyn, are you going to jump in and do this? Because I know you're not a jiu-jitsu person, but I think you can do all right.
Yeah, throw me in there. Got it.
For the win. Yeah. Hell yeah. I won't say anything if you throw an elbow. I won't say nothing.
No, man. I don't think so. Maybe one day. I don't know.
I mean, if I went in there, I would do what I did when I was doing gi jiu-jitsu. I would just lay on my back and go, you can't pin me, and you're not going to sub me. We're just going to go to decision. I'm just going to be super tired.
Yeah. I did jiu-jitsu a few times, like for like a solid month. I was going like twice a week. It's not even really that much. I did learn some stuff, and like if I were even to do any kind of match for jiu-jitsu, it would just be me working on not getting subbed. It's like you know what I mean? Not that I'd be working on getting one. I would be working to survive. That's about it. And if I did survive, that would be a major win.
Oh, also, 559 Fights has announced that they're coming back. So we will have some amateur MMA going on in the Central California. I'm very stoked about that. I'm glad that we are finally getting to the point where we can start having live MMA locally. I mean, it's great to see it on TV. Yeah, precisely. Aren't you going to an event in Arizona, or did that already take place?
No, so I'm going at the end of this month, a couple weeks. It's the USMTO, the Muay Thai Opens, amateur event, but it's a tournament. We have, for Manny Mancha kickboxing gym, we have about 4 guys going in there to compete, so it'll be really fun. I've never gone there before. I never watched that event before, but I hear it's a really good time, and I'm so glad that they're able to have events with people, spectators live. I'll be in the same room. So that'll be really interesting.
Are you competing, cornering, or just spectating?
Spectating with my team.
Nice. Yeah. Now, I've shout out to your coach, because I've seen some of his shirts on Instagram.
You like those? Those are so cool, huh?
I dig the Power Rangers one. I was like, that's pretty dope. If I train there, I would rock that one. Definitely.
He came out with some new ones this week.
Oh, man.
It's really cool. It's got like it's like a death row theme. We got a guy in an electric chair, and then on the back says what's it say? It says nothing but an MMKG thing, and in the front says MMKG unit. So those are really cool.
Wow. All right. I dig that. Throwing it to rap old school death row records. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's all we got for this week. The fights start in less than half an hour. So, folks, go enjoy Bellator on Showtime. Get your popcorn, get your snacks, maybe have dinner, enjoy yourself, have a good evening and a good weekend. And we will see you guys next time on the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Have a good night.